Have you ever noticed how leadership models age? Some age gracefully and some age like a Nokia 3310 in the era of iPhones. Legendary, indestructible, but absolutely not built for 2025. Today we are talking about VUCA. Yes, that VUCA, and why it just doesn't describe the world we are living in anymore. And I want to introduce you to something far more honest, far more human, and far more relevant. 6 Pundits, the Eclectic Leadership Movement's new vocabulary for real-world, high-context leadership. Stick with me. This may change the way you think about leadership forever. So, VUCA, born in 1985, polished by the US Army War College and brilliant for its time. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. But here is the truth. VUCA was designed for a post-Cold War world, not the post-everything world we are trying to lead in today. Our world isn't just volatile, it's overstimulated, it's not ambiguous, it's algorithmically confusing, and it is not uncertain. It's overflowing with pseudo-certainty while starving us of truth. Look at what leaders actually deal with. The global population surging towards 9.7 billion. 9 out of 10 children breathing polluted air. Political instability up nearly 40% since the year 2000. And inequality rising like it's training for a marathon. Women still representing only 5% of Fortune 500 CEOs. And somehow leadership programs look at this and go, oh yes, classic VUCA, really. It's all very volatile, uncertain, confusing. VUCA feels like describing the ocean as if it's wet, or the ocean is moist. It's not working anymore. So we need a lens that actually names what's happening. That's where 6 Pundits comes in. It's a decolonized, human-centered vocabulary rooted in lived experience, not old war manuals. Let's talk about the 6 forces, the 6 P's in 6 Pundit, the world we're actually leading in. First up, you have population. So it's not just numbers, but movement, migration, youth bulges, aging populations. Leaders today are not managing just categories. They're managing crowds, energy, emotion, culture. And in many countries with a massive young population, leadership must adapt to a future that's arriving much faster than the past is fading. So how do you navigate in that situation is important. Pollution is the second element. So it's literal pollution, of course, the air, the rivers, the soil, but also the polluted information, the polluted attention, the polluted integrity, corruption. Leaders today have to navigate this noise as much as nature. Third P in 6 Pundits is politics. Now, this is still shaping up everything from global influence seeping into the local living rooms, to algorithm-engineered elections, to the everyday power struggles, influence and persuasion inside the teams and organizations. So this has to be considered as a macro factor. Fourth is patriarchy. And again, literally and metaphorically, the structures that decide whose voice matters, whose work is valued, whose leadership is recognized. Every culture has its version of this, and it deeply shaped opportunity. And leadership for a woman is much more difficult than leadership for a man. You just have to accept it and navigate it accordingly. Next is prophecy. So by this I mean how faith, belief systems, spiritual narratives, and cultural worldviews shape how people understand leadership. But it's also the secular prophecies we follow. Growth at all costs, endless progress, motivational posters pretending the planet is not on fire, and prophecy influences expectation, and expectation influences leadership. Then comes poverty, literal poverty, the financial reality billions are living in, but also the educational poverty, the emotional poverty, linguistic poverty, digital poverty. Leaders inherit these deficits they did not create, but they have to lead through them. So these forces are simply not moods, they're mechanisms, right? So they shape how people behave, how teams function in that environment, which is very high context, and how nations respond, and how leaders must think in that extremely high context environment. Now, where the 6 P's describe the forces, the UNDITS, UNDITS, describe the leadership intelligence we need to respond. First, undefined uncertainty. Leading when nothing is fully clear, and acting even when the map is blurry, which, let's be honest, is most days, right? Next comes natural intelligence, Not artificial intelligence, but ancestral intelligence. That is the AI. Intuition, empathy, cultural literacy, and the wisdom communities have used long before leadership textbooks existed. Next comes design thinking, the improvisation, the iteration and intent, where you turn this survival instinct into your strategy, taking chaos and shaping it into something meaningful. Then comes ingenuity, making creativity a leadership practice. It's all about frugal innovation, doing more with less and doing it beautifully because you are constrained by your circumstances. You have to be like that. And finally, tenacity and service. Leadership rooted in stewardship, purpose and contribution, where ambition is not ego, it is a responsibility. So where VUCA said, be agile, 6PUNDITS says, you're already improvising, now make it intentional. And here's the real difference. VUCA observes the world, 6PUNDITS names it. VUCA describes turbulence, 6PUNDITS describes the systems creating that turbulence. VUCA tells you to brace yourself, and 6PUNDITS teaches you to dance with the storm. VUCA gives you fear vocabulary, 6PUNDITS give you the leadership vocabulary. And the biggest shift, VUCA came from the military. 6PUNDITS comes from lived experience, from culture, from community, from reality, from the ground up. If any part of this made you pause, if something clicked that never quite clicked before, and if you finally heard your world reflected in a leadership model, then I want to invite you to join the Eclectic Leadership Movement. We are building a global community of leaders, educators, consultants, policymakers, creators, people who believe leadership must be multilingual, multidisciplinary, multicultural, morally grounded, and magnificently human. VUCA had its moment, but the world has moved on. It's time for a new vocabulary, a new movement, and a new way of seeing leadership. Join the Eclectic Leadership Movement. Lead with clarity, with more connections, with an aim for confluence of all basic human values. Lead eclectically. I'll see you in the next video.